I want to do a little bit of a different type of video this morning, and it's actually going to be in two parts. I want to talk about identification and the breaking of curses. In the second part of this video, I'll do it in two videos. I want to talk about the curse that has plagued me since September 6th, 1954. And it's a curse that I just sort of vaguely became aware of by happenstance, several months ago. And now it's been very, very evident. It's very evident that this curse exists, and it's something that I need to deal with. And I want to ask you, we're going to talk about curses and strongholds. I think that most people I come into contact with on a daily basis have a stronghold or two that are exploiting their vulnerability. Now, what is a demonic stronghold? Well, this exploits that vulnerability. It does it in a habitual way. And this is how the devil operates, and gradually gains control of your thoughts and emotions. And he does that with the intention of taking over our wills as well. Now, the first step when you destroy these strongholds is realizing that they're there in the first place. And how do you do that? Well, you look at yourself. You perform a careful examination of your own conscience to discover the areas in which habitual sin has gained control. These strongholds, as Paul says, are proud obstacles to the knowledge of God. And they are very, very strong. There's a Bible out. It's called Spiritual Warfare. And when I read about Satan's army, I was astounded. That's a whole video in itself. Well, so how do we get rid of these strongholds? How do we get rid of these curses in our lives? What are some of the strongholds? Well, we have lying, of course, deceit. A big one right now is purity. So many people look at this box, one of the computer box, what I call it, and pornography is all over America. I don't know too many men that haven't had a problem with sins of impurity like lust, fornication, adultery, masturbation, homosexuality, sexual perversions, viewing pornography, and deliberate sexual fantasizing are clearly obstacles to the knowledge of God. So if you have this in your life, it's very, very difficult to form a relationship with God. Another really big one is deceit. Deceit. Lying. It seems like everybody lies anymore about everything. When I was talking about the Spiritual Warfare Bible, there's a whole list of the ways that Satan has permeated society. It talks about Satan's army and how it's set up. And in one section it talks about how Satan has infiltrated courts and governments. And I had never thought about that before in that manner. How can that be? How can Satan influence the Supreme Court? Did he perhaps in 1973, when it came to Roe versus Wade, or when it came to Justice Stevens handing down his decision on the health care law, which was a complete flip-flop of his conservative values that he exhibited previous to making that decision. So is our country under a stronghold? Are you under a stronghold? Are you under a curse? Very, very important questions to ask, because the devil has gradually taken control over this country and over many, many people's thoughts and emotions, and the people don't even realize it. You have to really examine yourself, examine your consciousness to discover the areas that we habitually sin or that we're really vulnerable. Proud obstacles to the knowledge of God. So I want you to just ask yourself for a moment, because I'm talking to specific people out there that are undergoing these strongholds and curses, that have curses on their lives. And believe me, I am one of them. In my next video, I'm going to tell you what that curse is in my life and what it's done to me.